Kyra and welcome back to our channel. So as you guys can see in today's video, I am joined by my husband here, Deon. You guys are probably familiar with him. He has been on our channel before and he is joining me today because we are going to be discussing marriage. We kind of felt like talking about the things that we have learned since we've been married. We've been married 2 years now. We made 2 years 2 weeks ago. And so now that we've been married for 2 years, which isn't a really long time, but there are some things that we have learned over the 2 years that we felt like it would be beneficial to kind of share with you guys. These are things that are not commonly heard. You know, you hear, oh, it's hard, or oh, it's, you know, you have to communicate and things like that. But there are some deeper things that you learn literally as you're going through the process and, you know, becoming one and figuring out how to work together and things like that. So this video is actually Deon's idea. He kind of wanted to come, he came to me actually and said he wanted to do this video. Kind of just share, like I said, share with you guys what we've been working on and what we're going to be working on in the future. So this video will be the 3 hardest lessons that we have learned while being married. So babe, want to kick it off?
Yeah, so the first point is marriage is never 50-50.
No.
So all your life, all my life, all her life, we've been hearing this, oh, marriage is 50-50. You put this amount in, the other person's going to bring this to the table. That is a total lie.
Yeah.
That's a lie. What we realized over the last 2 years, not even just the last 2 years, the last 6 years in all, is that sometimes I bring in 70, she brings in 30. Sometimes she brings in 80, I bring in 20. You know, that's the hardest thing right there, because you feel irritated like, dang, I'm only supposed to bring in 50. Where's that other 50 at?
Right. Now, I won't necessarily say that it's never 50-50, because there are times where both of us are like on the same page and we're kind of both at the same point and things like that. So I won't say that's necessarily never 50-50, but a lot of the times you'll see that, like you said, it's not 50-50. And a lot of that kind of comes from where you two are in life. So for example, like whenever Deon was in school and I was working, that our journeys at that point in time were so different that one of us, you know, was bringing a little more at one point in time and other person, you know, was bringing a little less, and then, you know, kind of switch off depending on what we were going through. So for example, so if Deon had a test or something that was coming up that he was studying for, and it was like his weekend to come to Dallas, but he couldn't because he was studying, well, you know, if I really want to see him, I would take it upon myself to go to Oklahoma to see him. So that isn't a good example of, you know, it not being 50-50. So sometimes like things like that where one person has to carry a little bit more for the other, it happens. And sometimes you do get irritated because you feel like, right, because you do feel like, oh, I'm always doing this, or oh, I'm always doing that. But again, it should be an even balance and an even trade-off to where you both are on the same page and you know, like, hey, like I know, you know, you're doing a little more this month or whatever, you're doing a little, you know, you've been doing a little less this month, but next month let's switch it out, or let's change it up, or let's do something to where we're not stuck in the same cycle of one person is always giving more, if that makes sense.
Also, that leads to our second topic, which I like to say the triple C's, which are communication, compromise, confrontation, right? So again, it is okay to communicate that, hey, I feel like I'm bringing in 90% of the work this month. You know, like it's okay to say that. Don't ever feel hesitant to tell your significant other, like, I don't like that. And
I can give an example for that, because even like for like my blog stuff, so there is sometimes that I'll get so caught up in, you know, coming home, like trying to do stuff for the blog or do stuff for YouTube and stuff like that, well, I'm not a huge cook, because y'all know I'm not a huge cook. I've never been a huge cook. He actually does most of the cooking. But there are weeks where I'm like so caught up in like what I'm doing for like Alyra and the blog and things like that, that I'll come home and won't have time to cook, or I just won't have the energy to cook, and he'll come home and he'll do that. And again, that kind of goes back into that whole, you know, one person carrying more while the other person's, you know, carrying a little less. But then if he kind of gets fed up with it and I'm like so blind and caught up in like what I'm doing, he'll be like, babe, like, you know, I need you to pick up the slack. I need you, you know, to cook, you know, a meal on Tuesday, or, you know, go get takeout or something like that. You know, just again to make sure that he's communicating if he's unhappy or if he's, you know, feeling a certain way. And that's totally fine. And I think in a partnership, it's so important. It's so important to be able to communicate any in everything. Don't you think so?
I agree with that.
Like, and when I say in everything, don't just be so focused on communicating the good, but communicate the bad also. So if you're feeling like, man, like he isn't giving me any attention, tell him that. If you feel like, oh, he has lost his romantic ways, tell him that. Tell him that. And also another thing is like, your significant other isn't a mind reader. And I feel like a lot of times in relationships and more so marriages, a lot of people expect the other person to just know what they want or what they need. And a lot of times that's not the case. Like, a lot of times it's genuinely not the case. So if you know specifically that you want something specific from him or her, why would you not say it? Like, just say whatever it is, so that way he knows how you're feeling. You know, it's like out in the open, and you guys can be working together to build on whatever it is that was slacking or lacking or missing.
So part B of the second topic was compromise. So again, triple C's: communication, compromise, confrontation. So compromise. So in these past 6 years, literally just the last 2 of marriage, I've learned to give a little bit more and accept a little bit less. What I mean by that is that sometimes you have to pick your battles. Like,
yes.
we battle it out literally over where we're going to eat. Literally.
No, we used to do that really bad. Now we don't really do it anymore because now I just say wherever I want to go.
Okay, I get that.
Okay, what he's trying to say is that, okay, so for example, going out to eat is a very, very touchy topic for us, because if you guys, I said it before in our channel, Deon is a health freak. He only eats like 3 things. He's like a bird pretty much. And
I look good.
Okay. So he's like a bird. I love junk food. I love burgers, pizza, wings, all the stuff. All the stuff I love to eat, he doesn't eat. All the stuff he likes to eat, I don't like to eat. So whenever we were even just dating, like finding somewhere to go eat was literally an argument almost every time, because he would want to go somewhere, or he would leave it up to me to pick. But in my mind, I'm trying to figure out somewhere that we can go, that we can both enjoy, and that I would pick a place that I really don't want to go to, but I was thinking about him, and that he would get mad because I didn't pick a place that I really wanted to eat. And it was just like a bunch of, it was really just miscommunication. It's really important to pick your battles. Yeah, like the little things, and like the longer that you're together, you kind of figure out what are the big things and like what are the little things. So if it comes to like now, like arguing over what to eat for dinner is very petty and minute for where we are now. So we don't do it anymore. But if it were to come to something else like more major, you know, then you definitely have to be more selective as far as what do you want to spend your energy and time in discussing and arguing about and things like that. Because y'all, and we've learned this, like everything is not worth an argument. Everything is not worth the energy into arguing and getting into a big debacle about whatever. Like, you have to really be selective.
That I agree with that. Mainly, lesson learned. Mainly, I really, truly agree with that. But also, to add to that, it's just that, you know how you get into a little confrontation and it's like quiet, it's dead silent, you're walking past each other, you really don't say anything, and it's just like you want to say something, but you're so mad, you just don't. You have to be that person. One of you all have to be that person to break the silence. Because I realized that not talking for a couple of hours or sometimes the whole night,
it's just time wasted. It kills you. And not only that, it's just like at some point you learn why. Like it's like there's no point in like tiptoeing around the house like not talking to each other because you're still mad about something that happened 5 hours ago that you don't even care about anymore. It's energy and time wasted. Instead of just being the bigger person and being like, babe, like, I'm sorry, you're sorry, like, it is what it is, let's move on.
I don't like to hurt her feelings, though. Like, that's my thing. Like, even if we're, like, at the edge of, like, we're at the edge and we're about to jump. If she started crying or something, it's like I forget everything. It's like, oh, baby, I'm so sorry. Like, whatever I can do to just make you feel better. Give you some kisses.
Well, you know? Okay, so the point we're trying to say is it's important to communicate and also to pick your battles when it comes to confrontation And just making sure that you remember that your partner is your partner.
Combine them all.
Okay.
Should have been.
What?
No, I was just.
Okay, so those are the 3 C's: communication, compromise, and confrontation. So those are kind of have really shaped our experience as far as how we interact with each other now and how we handle tougher situations. So the last topic
was basically saying that, like, don't expect anything from the other party that you don't put forth yourself.
Yes.
So I'll let Miss Knox talk about that one first.
Okay, so pretty much this one is also really important. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's just saying, don't ask something of your husband or your wife or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, that you aren't willing to do yourself. So if it comes to anything from cooking, cleaning, finances, sex, whatever, like, it's not fair to ask someone to do something and commit to doing something that you won't even do yourself, or that you don't even want to try to put the energy and effort into doing yourself. It's a little different situation if you're asking someone to do something that maybe they're better at. But if you've at least tried, then that's a whole different situation. Like, if you put in the effort and you've actually tried to do something that the other person's better at, but you're just not good at it, and you know that he's or she's good at it, then that's completely fine.
Let's say that one of you always likes to go out, wine and dine, and all that kind of everything in that sort of a perspective, right? And the other one is just more so chill, doesn't really like to do that. But you don't do that either. You don't put forth that wine and dine and surprising nature on the other person either. But you always expect this of him or her. Why should he or she do it when you don't put forth the effort to do it either? So that's basically the overall grab point from this topic. Is that from this point, I would say, is that do not ask anything of him or her that you don't do yourself. Point blank period. My goal, what I try to do is try to be the best husband ever. Like, I know for sure if she decides to go outside these doors, it's because of her own free will. She's getting it all right here at home. Exactly. And I make sure I'm everything. From the mister to the chef, to the sex partner,
to the massage therapist.
He's
getting foot rubs whenever I want foot rubs.
I'm trying to be that all in all, that universal guy, just to make sure, because I know, everyone knows there's somebody out there better, possibly. But if you ask me, it don't get no better than this.
Oh my gosh, get together. Anyways.
Oh, also, one more thing. Just allow that person, your significant other, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, whatever you call them, partner, whatever. Allow that person to be who they are, Because I can tell you sometimes, from her point of view, on me, like, I can be embarrassing.
Don't try to change your soulmate and your spouse and your significant other. Like, don't try to change them. Even if there are some, some quirky things that you may not like, they are who they are. And don't forget that. Like, you married them for a reason. And if that thing bothered you enough to where you just, like, couldn't handle it, well, then you shouldn't have married them in the first place. So,
exactly. So, with that being said, thank you for tuning in to AlyraTV.
Okay, thank you. Oh my gosh. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will see you guys in the next video.
Possibly.
He'll be in another video, you guys. Bye, you guys. Have a good one.